Majority out here today to do a little video response to the button mappers, which I'm part of. But did you know that we also do a community thread topic? And this month's topic is with regards to May. It's modern May. So what we're gonna ask is retro versus modern gaming, which do you prefer and why? And boy, have I got an answer for you. But before I do, let me talk to you about Kimbop. So I cooked up some Spam. Yes, Spam is a fine ingredient. It's actually considered healthier than bacon. Did you know? And also some differences between Kimbop and sushi. A lot of people compare it to sushi, saying it's the Korean sushi. It's really not, because you're using cooked meat as opposed to raw fish. And also when you mix up the rice, which you see I have here, you don't use mirin or sake, you use sesame oil and I believe a little bit of salt, which I have in the cabinet. So maybe I'll grab that after. I would do it to taste. So, you know, maybe like half a cap or a cap, you know, at first. I don't think you really need that much. Sesame oil is pretty potent, if you know what I mean. Maybe just a little more. It's good though, I like it. Oh, babe's getting mad at me, saying I'm adding too much. I got the water bowl here for just mixing it up. You know, you want your rice to cool down a little bit, but you want kind of a nice texture here. And also just make sure you wash your hands before you do this. When you make this kind of stuff, you really need to make sure that you're being hygienic, especially with this COVID stuff going about. It's no joke. But another thing that's not a joke is my Kimbop. So take a look, I got my rice in my hands. I'm gonna just plop it down, okay? And you really want to make sure that you push it out to the edges. What a great time for the heater to be going crazy right now. It's like beginning of May. It's not very modern, let's just say. But one thing that is cool about Kimbop is you can kind of customize it to your liking. So you see to my right there, we have some cut up egg. We did kind of do it somewhere between fried and tamago yaki style. More about that later if you're interested. We also got some radish, we got some burdock, and we got some kimchi. So again, just keep pushing out that rice. So you're probably wondering, which do I prefer, retro or modern gaming, and why? Well, you're absolutely right. But before I talk to you about that, I want to show you what I've got. So here on the table, or the cutting board, some might say, we have our wakame, aka seaweed. We got our rice. I'm gonna start plopping that Spam down. Maybe 3 pieces is good. Get a nice strip of egg. You want this long ways so that it fits the seaweed. Leave that radish for my babe. I think it's probably the last one as well. Get a little kimchi. What's that face for? Huh? Use it?
Yeah.
Aw, she said no, you should use it. Okay. How sweet. Making sure I stay fed. So, I do keep the rice here for another purpose, and that's once your hands get all kind of like ricey, you can kind of wash it off, yeah. And then there's a third reason, is because eventually you're gonna need the knife and to kind of just dab it in the water. So let me show you kind of like, not a burrito wrap, but the reason that we do this rice to the edges, really, you want to kind of fold it inside. It's hard to get the good angle on this and do it right, so I'm just going to focus on making it. But you really want to just squeeze it in there, you know, before you start coming down towards the edge. That's why we had the rice over there before, so that this sticks to the edge of the seaweed, okay? And if you're real pro, you could take out your sushi mat and kind of put this in here. That's technically what you're supposed to do to make sure it comes out, you know, more spherical, but maybe I'll try this again another time. But for now, I want to talk to you about retro versus modern, because I'm conflicted. You know, I watched the Terry feature film on why modern gaming is dog shit, and it's a great watch. I recommend you watch it if you haven't already. It'll be in the playlist, but I'll also have a card in the upper right corner of the screen so you can watch it. He's got great points about why modern gaming is like a shady kind of industry. And I'm tempted to like take the opposite side and say, oh, I love modern gaming, it's great. But the truth is, I don't think so. I have a lot of issues with modern gaming, and I compare it to food somewhat. So, you know, you could either say you're just gonna have a classic dish, right? Like, you know, we got some classic Spam kimbap here. Or you could say I'm having the gourmet ham and sesame rice. You know, but at the end of the day, you know, what are you really getting is the question. And with modern gaming, I feel it's a lot of scummy practice to tell you you're getting something you're not. And I just know that if I stick with what I know and the classic games that I know and love, I won't be disappointed. Yeah, there might be some fluff in there and some experimentation, but I know it's not a shady industry practice trying to sell me on something that they want me to want as opposed to what I want. And look what we get. We get some beautiful kimbap rolls. I'm getting excited, a little ahead of myself here. But this will make a good average of about 6. And I'm gonna hold one up in a second just after I finish the cutting procedure. It's too bad you can't say kimbap in the same kind of fun tone. You can say udon. You say kimbap. But take a look. That's a beauty right there. So are my retro games. So you want to see what I think? Let's see. Can I even fit this in my mouth? Mmm.